Welcome to My Vertical Obsession. I'm your host, Megan, and today we are talking about the Seduction Game on ReelShort. So this one stars Kayla Brady as Lila Lennox, Noah Andre as Preston Whitmore, and Vera Price as Brynn Sterling. And the synopsis is, when a brilliant dirt poor teen earns a scholarship to an elite prep school, she becomes the target of a cruel queen bee and her bad boy pawn, who's tasked with seducing and destroying her before the Ivy League admissions are announced. But what no one expects is the girl from the trailer is playing them all, and she might just take the crown, the scholarship, and his heart. So my overview for this is Lila is a scholarship student at Sterling Pratt who has been working hard to go to Yale, the same college her mom attended. Brynn, the popular girl, believes that Lila doesn't deserve the spot and it should be hers. She enlists the help of Preston to distract and seduce Lila, so she ends up losing out on her chance at Yale. Since she is offering Preston the chance to sleep with her, which is what he's always wanted, he says he'll do it. Neither knowing Lila heard the whole conversation. Now she's out to beat them at their own game. Nothing will stop her from going to Yale, not even love. Preston thought it would be easy. He thought he would be able to play Lila and win Brynn. Only he didn't know Lila was playing him the whole time. Somewhere in the game, things changed and Preston fell for Lila. Lila and Brynn's plans never changed. Lila used that to have some fun, but also keep them from ruining her chances at going to Yale. After Lila overhears Brynn and Preston talking about their bet and sees them kissing, she is reminded that love has no place, that she will get into Yale no matter what. Only she didn't see Preston wasn't really into what Brynn was giving. He was more playing a part. Now Lila is pulling away from Preston, and when she reveals she knows the whole truth, she's done. He's fallen and ready to fight to win her back. Lila only wants to go to Yale and will not let Preston ruin that, even if it means it will break her heart too. When Preston shows up at her steps with a gift to try and win her back and tells her he loves her, Lila calls Brynn to hear all Preston has to say. Lila tells him all Brynn has done to her, that she was able to get a video of the abuse to stop her, and that is why Brynn sent Preston to ruin her. Lila says that he was the pawn. Preston asked her if she liked him, and she said she liked what he made her feel, but that was it. He doesn't believe her. He hopes the gift would help, but she still says she doesn't like him, which breaks both their hearts. Preston still isn't willing to give up. He wants to win Lila back. Lila thinks he's trying to distract her, so she ties him up and heads to her Yale gala. While making her speech, her dad and stepmom show up to discredit her thanks to Brynn. Lila is able to prove them as liars, and Preston shows up just in time to help get rid of them. She finishes her speech, and the two get back together. That is until Preston's dad tries to break them up. He offers her money, which Lila doesn't take, but she still breaks up with him, thinking it's what's best for him. So he gets back with Brynn, but in hopes it will get Lila back. A month later, and Brynn is back to her old tricks trying to ruin Lila. Meanwhile, Preston finds the check and snaps at his dad. He races off to find Lila to tell her that he knows, but finds the photos Brynn leaked. Comes to save Lila and stop Brynn. They end up finding out that many others have been bullied by Brynn and finally put an end to her reign. Lila finds out that she's going to Yale, so did Preston. The two admit their feelings for each other and get back together. Getting into the talking points. So the first one is about Preston falling for Lila. I really felt like Preston fell for Lila when he dared her to take off her top. He didn't think she would do it, but when she did, he saw her in a new light. That is why he ended up saving her from everyone seeing her. He saw her differently and realized he kind of liked who she was. It might have taken a bit more to truly fall harder for him, but I think that moment at the pool, that started it all. You could see a bit of a change in him during that scene. Even if that isn't the case, I still choose to believe that is where Preston started to fall for Lila for real. In that moment, she made him rethink everything. So that's kind of where I saw Preston really kind of seeing Lila completely different than the version that Brynn had kind of told him. So he saw that she was up for things and that maybe he had her all wrong and that she wasn't just this quiet little mouse that he was told she was, kind of thing. So I felt like that's where it all started for him. So the next talking point I had was Lila's game, which was basically Lila kind of playing the both of them throughout the whole thing. I said how I love how Lila played them both so easily. She was truly 5 steps ahead of them both. While she was falling for Preston too, she still knew why he was even talking to her. So she used their game against them, and they never even realized she was on to them. If anything, it showed just how smart Lila really is, that she was able to use their tricks against them, that she was able to figure out what they were planning and find a way to outplay them. I just love how it was never anything too big and it was just enough to throw them off. That is what made me really love the character of Lila more. So the next talking point I had was about the book, which was the gift that Preston gave to Lila. I knew once it was mentioned that Lila wanted a first and second edition of this book. I forget what the actual name of the book is. I feel like it was like Vanity Fair. I forget what the name of the book was, but she wanted a first or second edition of the book that Preston would end up getting it for her. I figured he could use that to prove his love to Lila. It would be this whole romantic moment, only that's not how it went. He did buy it and he did try to use it to prove he loved her, but it wasn't the romantic moment that I thought it would be. Lila still turned him away. To be fair, she had her reasons and they were valid. I just thought that him buying the copy would be proof she needed to know that he loved her. I think it helped. Plus, seeing him heartbroken outside afterwards helped show her he did really care about her. She was just so driven by Yale. She didn't want to risk anything messing that up. I think it helped open her heart to allow her to forgive him later on. It was the start for them finding their way back to each other. So while it wasn't this romantic gesture and moment that I thought it still was a key moment that I think helped bring them back in the end. So I think it helped with her forgiving him and getting back together with him after the Yale gala before his father kind of interfered. But I still thought it was going to be this romantic moment of he bought me this book, he really cared because he really listened to what I wanted. That's kind of how I saw it would go. So, because I feel that's how romantic gestures go in movies and TV shows sometimes. So that's why I was like, oh, this is how it's going to work. But it didn't go that way. And then my last point was just a little error that I had to point out a little because I didn't notice it at first. But then my second watching, I noticed it a little bit more. But it's the video which gets shot at the pool and then Brynn shows later on, which Lila knew what they were doing. She just didn't know how it was going to be used, but she knew it was to try and show Lila as drinking on school property when she wasn't supposed to kind of discredit her and ruin her reputation a little bit and to get her in trouble. So it was Lila. So when Lila was at the pool, there was the phone with the ring light that was filming everyone drinking. You could see everyone taking the phone and doing the whole, this is my first drink and taking the sip with the phone. But when Brynn showed it at the assembly, it was a completely different video and you could see Lila was holding the phone that she was supposed to be recording with, and it's not the video that was shot during that scene. And I felt like they should have just at least cut out that she was holding the phone to maybe sell it as that footage from the phone, because I don't think there was anyone else filming at the time that you saw, because that was the whole point, was to get it on film for the TikTok. But yeah, so that's one of the things that I thought was that they could have maybe cut out the phone in the footage. It made it seem like it was from the phone, or they could have shot it with the phone while they were filming that scene so they could have used the phone footage later on. I don't know how well that would have worked. I don't know if it would have been possible, but I thought about it as an idea. But I was just one of those things where I found it funny when you look at it, you realize it's not the phone footage, but the actual footage from that scene that they filmed. So, and I know that's happened before in other series. It's also happened to TV shows, I know. I've seen that where they'll take scenes that were filmed in the episode past and pretend like it was a film video from the characters. So I know it's a thing that is done to kind of save on reshooting or filming a scene too many times, but it's just fun when it's one of those things when you can clearly see that it's not the video it's supposed to be. But I will say that scene when she had Preston give her the drink, she was thinking, like I said, 5 steps ahead, because she's like, well, I'm taking the alcohol, but you can't really tell that I'm taking the alcohol because he's feeding it to me. So when she goes, I'm just kissing a boy, it's like, that's why she did it that way, to make it just be like, hey, no, we're just kissing. I'm not drinking. You can't tell I'm drinking alcohol. I was like, wow, this she really was so far ahead when it came to keeping up to what Brynn and Preston were trying to do, or at least what Brynn was trying to do. So I thought that was very clever. I love that. But okay, so going over to my overall thoughts for this, I said this series gave off a little Cruel Intention vibes, with the whole bet was similar to the one in the movie. Same with Preston for falling for Lila. I think it was supposed to be a version of it, but like a twist of what if the one being seduced knew about the bet, which is kind of an interesting way of retelling the story. And I don't know if it was really supposed to be like a version of Cruel Intentions, but that's kind of how I saw it, because it really gave off that vibe. So that's kind of how I saw it, was like it was a retelling of that story, but with a little bit of a twist of what if the person they were trying to seduce actually knew the plan and was trying to out seduce, maneuver them, which actually is an interesting plot. So I love that. That's how I saw this as a way. But I thought Kayla and Noah did a great job as Lila and Preston. They played off each other very well. Their chemistry was really great too. The same with Vera as Brynn. She did a great job given that mean girl energy. I love how just when you think you knew what might happen, Lila does something to throw everything off. It was so fun to watch Lila beating them at their own game. And loved watching Preston fall for Lila. You could slowly see him falling over time for her and just not caring about this whole Brynn bet and what she wanted. He just wanted Lila, and loved watching him falling for her. So it was a nice little love story there. And it was a great series. I really enjoyed it. It was really well done. I recommend it. Fantastic. And it was just so great. I really enjoyed it. And that's one of the things with ReelShort, is that I very much enjoy their series. They have some really cute and fun series that you can just watch again and again. And this happens to be one of them. So yeah. So going into my rating, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. And there were a few things that could have been better. Like I said, the whole video that Brynn shows definitely could have done something a little bit different. There were some other things that I felt like we could have done a little differently. I still love it, still recommend it, still amazing. But every now and again, there's certain things that I'm just like, I feel like we could do a little bit better. But that's just me. Again, personal opinion, not anything else. But I will still enjoy it, still rewatch it, still love it. It was a cute story. But sometimes there are things that you go, well, maybe this could have made it better. You know, I did the same thing with the TV series I watched too. I was like, oh, well, maybe if they do that, it would have been a lot better. So again, it's to me thing sometimes. But as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the series, what you liked, what you didn't like. And if you're enjoying this podcast, please be sure to give it a review. Would love to hear your thoughts. This has been the Seduction Game on ReelShort. I'm your host, Megan. It's my vertical obsession. And until next time.